What's up, guys? CEO here with another episode of Pokemon Dynalocke. As you saw in the grinding montage, I got everyone up to about between level 11 and level 17. I'm going to be trying to not use Tweety very much in this episode because it took a little bit longer than I would have liked to get through that cave. And I guess I'll just go ahead and say this now before I forget. This is actually a post-com, unfortunately. When I was recording this episode, I unfortunately had the wrong input selected for my microphone. And here I'm just going over the items that I picked up in Mount Moon, which were a Thunder Toxic and a couple of smaller items. The Ultra Ball is really nice, actually. I was pretty excited to pick that up for free. In the grinding montage, I didn't really run into any trainers, to be honest. Any, on-the-way trainers. If I ran into trainers, they were either on accident or just because I had to get an item behind them or something. But I felt pretty good about my grinding because I didn't really know what the levels of the trainers were, and once I saw that the single trainers had about level 14s, I realized I was pretty much on pace. So I decided to stay in here since this thing is just struggle healing itself, but apparently in Gen 1, struggle is actually, kinda legit. It doesn't look like it does nearly as much recoil. It probably only does, a point or two of recoil damage to itself, and it's actually, probably stronger than I would imagine any other attack this Slowpoke had. So that actually wasn't, the greatest play by me to disable and then stay in on the struggles. I'm actually going to run back here really quick, just since I'm at the beginning of the cave. I figure might as well before I get too deep. I also don't notice that my recording dimensions are completely off until about 5 minutes into the recording. So just as a heads up, sorry about that. There's not really very much there's not really very much that went right with this episode. I'm not going to spoil anything, but I've been thinking of the title Mount Mess for this episode because it was just a complete failure. Lickitungs replaced Zubats, which was kind of funny because I went from seeing one of the most seen Pokemon of all time to one of the least seen Pokemon of all time, but seeing it all the time. So here I just decided I'm going to use the repel that I got during grinding just to get a little bit farther because I'm kind of tired of running into these Lickitung. So it's kind of weird actually post-calming a Let's Play, because I don't think I've done that before. But as I said in a previous episode, regular electric types kind of actually give me the work right now, because I don't really have... if I can get a ground type on this team, it would be super nice, but until I do that, electric type is kind of just spotting me for now. I would wrap this thing to death and just, guarantee that it doesn't do damage, but after seeing... I just wanted to see how much the Stomp would do, and luckily, Lickitung pulled through. I'm actually, really starting to like Lickitung. I didn't think I was going to, because it's really slow and has to take a hit pretty much every time it wants to do something. But you would be surprised how strong normal types are in Gen 1. Yeah, I realized Lapras has some pretty good defense, and after I confused it, I just decided to get out of there. Not much I could have really done, so I just switched into my heaviest hitter and went for a confusion, which didn't do as much as I would have really liked, but it'll get done. And then I get a crit anyway, so it doesn't really matter. So I'm actually really liking the team so far. It's not like the most type diverse in the world, but I kind of wasn't really expecting a type diverse team from a Nuzlocke anyway. Also, sorry if you hear this, but I need to wrap presents while I'm post-comming, so I will try to do it quietly. Yeah, I'm just trying to get through this cave as fast as possible. Oh, there we go. There we go, Fast Me. You got it now. Recording dimension is still off, actually, but that's as good as it's going to be for this episode, apparently. So, as I said in the last battle, electric types are difficult for me to deal with. So I think I just switch into Simmons here and do the same thing I did last time, if I remember right. Yeah. I'm actually, like, very afraid of this Magneton having Sonic Boom, because Sonic Boom would do a lot of damage early game, and I know Sonic Boom is, like, one of the most hilarious moves to be afraid of, but seeing as how my Pokemon don't really have a ton of HP right now, I'm actually kind of sweating this Magneton a lot. And wow, I just tripped over all of my words. So Steve's pretty hard to level up, I've noticed, because he doesn't actually have a water move, which makes it very difficult for me to figure out, like, when is an appropriate time to switch him in. Because, I mean, I already have a better Psychic type in Hypno, like, in terms of, like, what moves they have right now. So it doesn't really make sense for me to switch in and do the Confusion Disable thing, especially since Hypno also has Hypnosis. So, right now, Steve is probably the hardest member of my party to level up, I would say. But I definitely want to keep using him because I want that bulk. That was probably pretty loud, sorry. But this battle's sort of boring because all I'm doing is just water gunning everything to death. So yeah, there's not really a whole lot for me to talk about during this part because I'm kind of just battling whatever trainers I come across, deciding if I have enough health to, and then just getting it done, I guess. So unfortunately, Slowbro cannot even take on itself at level 10 because that battle would just take way too fucking long. So I just decided to get through here quick and go to Tweety. Thundershock this thing because I know it's gonna instantly kill because Zapdos is a monster in this game, and I'm just trying to get through these fights fast at this point, so. Did I miss Thundershock? I actually looked away for a second. I'm surprised that Squirt lived. So, not really a whole lot to talk about in this episode, I guess. I guess that's why my commentary was fairly quiet even when I was thinking of this live recording. So, I guess I'm just going to kind of talk about my history with Pokemon, since I don't really have a better time to do that. Oop, that was loud. So basically, I've been playing Pokemon, obviously, since Gen 1. I mean, I guess not obviously, but given how many memories I have with it, I think it might have been obvious. Anyway, so here I'm just healing up before I fight the rocket guy coming up, I guess. Yeah, I've been playing since Gen 1. I remember actually getting Pokemon Blue and a Game Boy Pocket for my birthday that year. I think I guess in 97, so I guess my 7th birthday. Yeah, it was whatever birthday, like, Pokemon Blue came out in America. I'm spacing on the date right now. Also, side note, Steve can apparently only kill the Kakunas, so I decided to do that while I can. But yeah, I remember getting it and playing it at the Boys and Girls Club every day when I was waiting for my parents to pick me up after school. I remember, I don't know, it's just, it's kind of crazy for me for Pokemon to be out, like, for 20 years, I guess. Because I remember when it was, like, just supposed to be, like, the phase that everyone was gonna go into and then, like, very quickly get out of. And I mean, for a lot of people, I guess it was. Like, I mean, obviously, Pokemon's not, like, for everyone. But I feel like it stuck around a lot better than a lot of people were expecting. And for that, that's kind of cool. So I don't really have anything to say about these battles because they're pretty basic. I'm slightly over-leveled at this point and kind of complaining about it in the live commentary because I didn't really mean to use Tweety as much. Oops, sorry. I didn't mean to use Tweety as much as I have been. It just happens that electric flying is a very, very good type, especially in this cave. So I don't want to be lovely kissed, so I'm just going to try to run, but Slowbro, being obviously slow as shit, makes it very difficult to run away, which is yet another reason why it's very difficult to level him up. So here I actually try to see if he can learn Thunder, because I think I was actually complaining about that in my video too. That Slowbro was just kind of not really doing a whole lot at the moment. So here I'm debating who to lead with. I just decided to lead with Simmons because I figure maybe I can try to wrap stuff and obviously just kill everything. It won't be super fast, but it'll be dead. And then he leads with a Dragonite, and I'm like, oh shit. I do not want to be fucking around with this thing, because the last Dragonair that I fought was Thunder Wrapping, or Thunder Waving and Wrapping, and the first move he goes for is Thunder Wave. And I'm terrified because I can already see what's coming next. Yep. And I'm not having any of this, because I'm not staying in on Dragonite that's going to be doing all that. And since it's Gen 1, it decides to predict me and goes for another Thunder Wave the second I switch out. And I mean, I guess that was a somewhat predictable switch, but Gen 1 shouldn't be capable of doing that. And of course I'm out of Paralyze Heals, and now he's going for Agilities, which would also make it more likely for him to crit me. So I'm just terrified and hoping that I'm going to be able to get through this. Luckily, Zapdos again comes through, pulls through 2 Paras, and just kills that thing as fast as possible, and Simmons learns Disable. So now I have 3 Mons on my team that have Disable. And here I make the absolute stupidest thing I have ever done in a Pokemon game. And I blame it on my dyslexia, but really I was just not fucking paying any attention at all. I don't know if that crit mattered. It probably didn't, but I thought I was switching into Hypno Sigmund, and I ended up switching into Simmons. So, in the future, I will not be naming my Pokemon similar names like that. I thought it was going to be cool, and it literally ended up killing my Lickitung the second I got Disable. I have, like, no explanation for why that actually happened. I fucked up, to be honest. So now I'm going to edit the layout really quick. I was really looking forward to having that death counter be 0 for as long as I could. But, I mean, when you're a fucking idiot and switching a Lickitung on a Machoke, like, I don't know, like, I'm not even gonna try to pretend like I misclicked or something. Like, I fully read Simmons and was like, yes, that is the Pokemon I want to switch into, and then as soon as Lickitung popped up, I was just like, oh. Like, hoping it went for a Leer so I could get lucky and switch out, but no, it saw right through my plan. It saw me switching in that Lickitung. So at this point I'm pissed, and I'm just trying to get through here as fast as I can. I'm like not as pissed as I guess I was expecting to be, because the death was 100,000,000% my fault and could have been more avoided than like any death ever. Like, in case you haven't noticed, I'm still kind of mad that my Lickitung died for literally no reason, but what can you do? So I'm pretty terrified of this fight, actually, because I remember this fight giving me a lot of problems as a kid. And he starts off with a Primeape, which is not the mon that I wanted to see. Like, I have 2 psychic types, but I also know that Primeape is very strong. Luckily, this one decides to take it easy on me after he saw me kill my Lickitung just in front of him. I'm like still very bummed about that. So, trying to avoid using Zapdos any more than I have, I realize that I don't have very many other answers to water types. My team, unfortunately, isn't the most diverse. It's pretty powerful for early game, but it's not really very type diverse right now. And I'm kind of hoping that my future encounters will make it a little bit better. And I mean, I can't really ask for better, I need type coverage. Like, I need to be able to hit a grass or a fire type attack at some point would be nice. A ground type would alleviate a lot of problems also. Just basically not a psychic type or a water type would be nice. So here I pick up the Dome Fossil. Since it's randomized, it doesn't matter anyway, but in my first run-through of this game, I picked up a Dome Fossil and realized Kabutops was really cool, even if it is kind of irrelevant. And here's something I'll never get. You go up through a ladder and then immediately just walk out. Like, I'm pretty sure in any feature Pokemon game they have like a room that links those two, but whatever. It's Gen 1, they don't really care. So here I'm trying to look for hidden-ish items, I guess. I thought there was something up there, but I guess I was just thinking of up here instead. I don't remember what TM9 is, actually, but I don't remember it being super great. Oh, yeah, takedown. So I'm not teaching my mons anything with recoil, because I'd already see that ending poorly. So here I realize that I have to kind of hop down and make sure that I'm like actually ready to hop down into this encounter. I'm deciding to lead with Sigmund, because I figure it can just hypnosis whatever if I need to kill it, because it's like really bad, I can kill it. But really, Sigmund's just pretty much my best lead in most battles, to be honest. And here I run into an Abra, and I'm like so torn, because on the one hand, I fucking love Abra. It's obviously impossible to catch, so I'm like, oh. And it's another psychic type, so I'm like, oh. But you really cannot ever be mad about getting an Abra. So here I actually land the hypnosis, because Sigmund is apparently just a master hypnotizer, which makes sense. And I'm like, well, I don't really want to hit this thing, because it's going to die. And I actually catch it, and I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I was fully expecting this Abra to teleport, or wake up and teleport, and to just not actually have this encounter. So here I'm actually very caught off guard, and don't really know what to name Abra, because I, A, wasn't expecting to catch it, and B, haven't actually caught an Abra in a while. So I'm just going to edit to when I actually do think of a name. So I end up coming up with a Mysterio. I have no idea why. I'm not a wrestling fan. I was just trying to think of a name that kind of fit Abra, and for some reason Mysterio popped up. Yeah, that is the explanation of that, to be honest, because I don't know. So here I'm like contemplating ending the episode, but I realize it's only been 20 minutes. And although it was a lot longer or not a lot longer, but it was a little bit longer for me in real time because I have to like edit my layout every time. I'm not like perfect at editing layouts, but I have a system that works. It's just not perfect. So here I decided to check it out and see that the app already has 22 special. At level 8, that is insane. I'm not really going to be able to use it for a while, but I'm definitely not sad that I got an Abra. Like I said, I would have ideally preferred some kind of type diversity here. Also, shoutouts to the X Defend instead of the Rare Candy. The only time where randomizing it made it, like, or I guess not the only time, but an instance of randomization making it way worse. So, here I'm terrified because the rival is scary. But I think I'm alright. I'll just leave Mysterio in the back. Oh. I actually realized that I had 6 party members and had to permanently box Lickitung. And so here, I guess I'll explain the box rules that I have for this Nuzlocke really quick, since I kind of have it a little different than normal. The party that I have of 5 right now, I can't move, like, if I catch 7 Pokemon and I want the 7th Pokemon from my box, something in my party has to die first. I can't, like, move Pokemon out of my party unless they're going into the death box, pretty much. It just makes it so the party that I have, I'm, like, more or less stuck with and have to learn how to deal with it, rather than just adjusting my party to whatever I catch. I saw A-Drive do it in a couple of his Nuzlocks, and it actually made it, like, way more difficult than you would expect. So I'm gonna go for that. Anyways... Here's my rival fight that I am absolutely fucking terrified of. Yo, CEO, you're still struggling along back here? I'm doing great. I caught a bunch of strong and smart Pokemon. Here, let me see what you caught, CEO. So at this point, I'm terrified because I don't even remember the starter that he picked. And I see a Gyarados, and I'm like, oh no. I'm obviously going to have to switch into Tweety because it's level 18, and I'm underleveled, and didn't mean to be. And it knows Hydro Pump! I'm like, what the fuck? Why does Gyarados at level 18 know Hydro Pump? And it crits me, and I'm like, oh no. This is officially the worst thing in the world. Why did I decide to do this at the end of the episode? So I'm like running through my head trying to remember if Zapdos is faster and go for a Thunder Shock, and it doesn't kill. And I just wanted to speed through that because I saw my poor Zapdos' life like flash before its eyes as a Hydro Pump came in. Like a regular Hydro Pump wouldn't have killed because a crit did 40. So a non-crit would have only done 20. And here I see a Weedle, and I'm like, you know what? I would be upset about this normally, but I'm just going to take this opportunity to switch out and actually do something here. So I was going to switch into Steve and get some experience off this Weedle, but since I'm playing Set and I don't know what's coming up next, I just decided to switch into the Hypno, because, like I said, it's kind of my best Psychic type now. And I'm kind of glad I do, because obviously this Victory Bell could have been super effective against Slowbro, and that would have been an issue. So that acid actually ends up doing a lot. Thankfully it doesn't poison. Of course he poisons me right then, so it doesn't really matter, but yeah. And then last but not least, he has Pikachu. I could have sworn he started with a Wigglytuff, actually, but I did not fight that Wigglytuff. So, apparently the starter does not stay with the rival, which is a little unfortunate. But this is my first time, like, doing a randomizer like this, so apologies. Unfortunately, like I've said a couple of times, regular electric types are actually an issue for me because I take, at minimum, neutral. I don't have anything that even resists, unfortunately, so I just have to let this Pikachu T-Wave me, and then Thunder Shock. Unfortunately, I stay paralyzed. Luckily I break through a couple of times and I'm able to pull through. So I definitely can't say that fight was easy, but I made it through. Hey, take it easy, you won already! Hey, guess what? I went to Bill's and got him to show me his rare Pokemon. That added a lot of pages to my Pokedex. After all, Bill's world famous as a Pokemaniac. He invented the Pokemon storage system. Am I going too fast to read this? Whoops! Smell you later! I apparently had zero interest in being able to read that text, but whatever. That's going to be the end of this episode, guys. I will make sure that I have live comm next time. Hopefully my gift wrapping in the background wasn't too obnoxious. I very much have to get these done, though, because I am on a time crunch. But yeah, leave a like if you enjoyed this. Sorry, I literally slacked off my Lickitung for no reason. I promise that I will pay more attention in the future. See you guys next time. Bye.